Welcome to PrintovationConf. This is the first annual conference that we're doing every single year. It's incredible for everyone to come. We've got people from Colorado, Arkansas. Just shout out some states. Florida, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois. Awesome. So as you see, everyone's coming from all over. This is your families or your friends, so of course feel free to always reach out and just keep talking. We're helping all of us out as a whole. Now, of course, before I start, bathrooms, if you don't have to go now, they will be straight down that hallway and to the left, and you'll find men's and women's there. My name is Bruce Ackerman. I was a previous screen printer as well. I started way back when I was in college in Champaign, Illinois. And when we grew to a certain size, we said, okay, we need something to help keep everything together. And we didn't like anything that was out there, so we created Printavo. And so that's shop management software, which I'm sure you guys have heard, or else you might not be here. But that's shop management software to help keep your business organized and streamlined as you continue to grow. So today we're going to have talks from not only in the industry, but outside the industry too. So that's what I feel is super valuable. And is it hard to hear? Okay, yeah, I'll use a mic. Just a little bit better? All right, perfect. So we've got talks from in the industry and outside the industry, which is going to be super powerful for you guys to be able to really gather a lot of knowledge. Now, I know a lot of us get super, very focused on our day-to-day work, and this is a great time to be able to step outside that normal routine and be able to take back tips, knowledge, friendships, networks, all back to your shop, back to your hometown to be able to help evolve your business from there. We've got talks on finance, HR, we've got talks on sales, just operations, growing your business, leadership. So it's going to be super exciting. We've got speakers not only from here, but from Washington and abroad that have come in to help make this incredible event. And then of course, all of the ticket sales, minus some of the food and stuff, is going to go to a local charity here, which is super awesome that you guys purchased tickets and were able to contribute back to that. And so we spent a lot of time just getting everything organized and ready, and we're going to make that donation back to a local charity called Lumity in Chicago here. So I'm actually going to kick things off. I've got a quick presentation that I'm going to blaze through, and then we're going to go and start working with our other speakers and have them come up too. And you guys will just be able to plug in now since it'll work for everything here. Okay, so what I want to talk to you guys about and what Printavo is really about is simplifying your shop. Keeping it organized, but simplifying it to the core pieces and what's most important. We've worked with shops all over the world now to help organize their business. We started Printavo 5 years ago. We've got shops all the way in Lebanon, Australia, down to Mexico, Bahamas. It's unbelievable just the amount of growth that we've had. But what's really cool is that we've been able to talk to so many different shops and not only help them on the software side, but say, hey, these are some things you should try because we see other very efficient shops do these types of practices. And these are some things that we have learned. These are 10 different tips. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. First, customer support. It's very important to get organized based on all the channels that you have customers coming to you from. So if you've got customers hitting you up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook Messenger, texting you, I'm sure, and email, obviously that's hectic. There's some really great tools out there to be able to centralize those channels and have one person be able to respond back out. Two of them are Groove HQ and Zendesk. So those are two, and those are really great tools that you can centralize all of that information coming in and be able to respond back. And you can even go further and automate some of those responses too, create FAQs for commonly asked questions, and that will help respond to some of those inquiries that come in constantly. Now, why that's important is because once you start to look at what you're doing, you'll be able to optimize that existing process. So as we get to our day-to-day, we're very focused on what happens operationally, what the jobs are, what jobs do we need to come in. But it's great to always take that step back and look at your processes. So document every single thing that happens. If you have multiple departments or decoration types, make sure you write each one down and how that works. So this is good because you want to systematize these processes. You want to make sure that it's a repeatable process from top to bottom. When you guys scale as a business, things work when you're a couple people to just willy-nilly take in jobs and take each job as a per job. But it's important to have a process from top to bottom when you get to the 10-person, 20, and 30-person stage of company. Okay, so this is a basic one. And just of physical aspects is just really clean out the shop. Make sure things are organized. Make sure the squeegees are put back, the screens are organized. Your designs even are digitally organized on Dropbox or wherever you guys like to store them. Keep that organized. If you got a clean shop, we'll have a clean mind for you and your staff. Okay, so optimize the flow. Have you guys seen the movie The Founder? Okay, really cool, right? You get to see some of the behind the scenes of when McDonald's was taken from kind of bumping around and really skyrocketed into an enterprise. You got to see how they focused and made the fries right, making the person putting the fries into the packer right next to the fryer instead of across their business. Same thing with their shop. You know, if someone's counting shirts way over there and you're having to come off the dryer over here, those couple steps add up. It's small things like that that over time and over repetition add up to be large time losses. This can even be down to your computer. If you're using an outdated computer and you say, okay, this costs $1,000 or $2,000, think about the time you're spending waiting for the thing to reboot or for errors that you have to fix and that time. Okay, so training. Super important to really spend the time, at least a strong month, with someone who's new. Now, even if this person has printing experience, you must make sure that not only are they going to fit culturally, but do they understand your process and your business. Go through with them, sit down with them, take them out to lunch so they make sure that they feel comfortable. If you guys are the boss there, you remember when you guys had a boss, you're not going to go and tell them every single thing that happens. So it's very important to make sure you sit with them, know that you are personable, that they can come to you with questions that they actually do have, and that you spend the time so that the employee understands all the different processes. So if they're just printing, make sure they understand, though, how the orders come in, how the artwork works, and you'll see how this pays off. When people are cross-trained and understand at least the different pieces of the business, they start to think more. And when you have those meetings with your staff over time, they're going to make suggestions that you can't see because you're up here working at this level and they're working at this level. Okay, this brings me to my next point. This is something that we do even as a small company, and you should do as a large company. One-on-ones. Put time on the calendar, bi-weekly, weekly, whatever you feel necessary, to sit down with each person and ask them, how can I make your job easier? Don't put this off, okay? It's very easy to say, oh shoot, I gotta do this and this and this. Let's do it in a couple hours, let's do it tomorrow. Make sure you stick to it and have that time with your staff. I'm telling you from two perspectives. From one of you making sure that they're happy and that they need and have what they have to have to be successful in their career, and from a small perspective of little problems that you're having. You'll be surprised of the amount of things that you see that they tell you that you're like, I can't believe, why didn't you tell me about this a month ago? You've been wasting an hour every day doing this, repetitive task. Have those one-on-ones with your staff. Put it on the calendar, make sure you guys are both there and present, and just talk. Talk about how you can make things easier, how can I Are you doing anything that's repetitive? What's keeping you down? What do you really like? What don't you like? And you'll really discover some great things. Okay, communication consistency. So when you're communicating about jobs and you're writing information about the jobs, have a kind of plan of how this is everything we write for every single job, and be very careful about what you're writing in that. If you're using abbreviations and you've got someone new that you haven't spent the time training with, you'll see how that they'll be confused and could guess if they don't ask you what the problem or what this means, ABC means, right? So be careful. Spend the extra 2 seconds to write out the full word. That reduces the errors, but it also helps create a consistent communication circle with the team. Okay, so process consistency. This is what I was talking about at the beginning, too. So the systematized processes that you guys wrote down, you want to create this as a repetitive cycle and have it documented so that each person knows exactly what the step is for each type of job so that it can be repeated. Once you can repeat, that's where the scaling of the business goes in, and you can really focus on pushing more orders in. If you have a broken process and you're funneling orders into it, you can imagine what kind of train wreck you're going to end up with. Okay, marketing. This is a little piece that I like to get into because we do a lot of different types of digital marketing that I don't see shops be able to utilize, whether you're a contract printer or whether you're dealing with more retail. It's very important that your customers see your brand name and your company multiple times from different channels. So it's not just good enough to be putting out flyers, and even if that channel's working, just to depend on that. You want to make sure you've got the web going, you've got the print going, you've got advertising going, all at the same time and consistently. It has to be consistent over a long period of time. Okay, so what this means, website. If you're a contract printer and you think maybe you don't need a website, get a website out, okay? And make it look professional, make it look bigger than you guys are. Because that big client's gonna look at you and judge you in 3 seconds as far as if you guys can handle their 10,000 shirt job or more, and if not, they're going to look to someone else. Okay, and especially if they have a word of mouth referral, you already have a knock against you. You can't imagine how many leads you're losing just from people not even reaching out because of maybe an unprofessional website, lack of reviews on Yelp, bad reviews on Yelp, no reviews, things like that. So that brings me to the next point. Make sure you're getting good customers to review you guys on these different platforms. Google Places, Yelp, Facebook has reviews. Super important there. Now, advertising. So there's many different ways to advertise online and really target your customers. There's retargeting, really big. What this means is if someone goes to your website and they look at your website and then they leave, which is the vast majority of people, these ads are going to follow them around, okay? And I'm sure you guys have gone to Amazon and looked at a product and maybe not checked out, and next thing you know, that crock pot's like following you around like this if you're on Facebook. That's called retargeting. You can set this up on a tool called Perfect Audience. That's a great one. There's another one called AdRoll. Now, along with social, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you got to be on there and you got to be active. Again, it's your presence. Even if you're a 2-person shop, you got to look big. So you got to say, wow, this is the big thank you, Buffalo Grove High School for your 5,000 shirt order for the team. Someone sees that and they're like, wow, these guys, okay, they're printing some serious stuff. Let's go ahead and send our stuff over to them. So spend the time doing that. Keep posting on that and be consistent. It's not good enough to have one post a month because it looks stale, outdated, and it comes off as, well, maybe this is like a part-time gig for them. The last thing is email advertising. So as your customers come in, collect their emails. Ask them for their email before. Usually it's good to get them as they're coming in for a quote, so you have that, and use that to keep sending them emails. Now, not spam, but emails that are maybe every 3-4 weeks to be able to send out to them saying, hey, here's some local things going on in the area. Did you know about this? Not 20% off, come in before Friday to get your stuff done, right? It's keeping you in their head, okay? And That's important, and you can automate this too. So the beautiful part is that there's free tools, MailChimp, I'm sure you guys have heard of, and there's automated tools which you pay a little bit more. And a little bit, I mean $100, $200 a month. The best one that I've seen is called Intercom. And Intercom allows you to automate all this going out to people, and you can segment. So people who have placed an order get this email chain. People who have done this, they get these email chains, and you can trigger those in different time frames. Okay, and then the last piece here is iterate. Don't be satisfied with where you're at systematically, where you're at, business-wise. Keep looking forward to the next step and say, where are we going to be at? Take the time. If it's just you, then take the time to write this down. If it's you and a partner, you guys sit down and have lunch and talk about, okay, in a year, where do we want to be at? And break it down and write those things down. I'm sure you guys have been in the same position where you write all these tasks down and then you look back 3 months and you're like, this is the exact same. Nothing has changed. So make sure you break those down into bite-sized pieces and keep to iterate and moving forward. That's all for me. So thank you guys. We've got some really good speakers lined up here, and you guys will be able to ask Q&As. We'll be here after as well. We've got lunch today, and again, I appreciate you guys coming by.